We are Witches Who Podcast. Hey, Dee.
Hey, Shelby.
Got any weird stories?
I do. So the other day I was driving home and I was going up this little hill, and at the top of the hill, there's like a light pole, like one of those big light poles. And that was dumb.
Why?
Let's start over. Like those big light poles. That is stupid. Okay, let's do this again because it was so dumb. I felt like it's a light pole. Oh, it's a light pole. Is that a word?
Like a telephone pole?
No.
Like a street light?
Yes, street light. That's the word. Okay, let's do it again. Because I was like,
I mean, light pole, that's a thing. That's real. An giant outdoor lamp. Oh my gosh. Okay.
exactly. A giant outdoor lamp. I like that. Okay, street light. Okay.
Ready?
Okay, go.
Hey, Dee.
Hey, Shelby.
Got any weird stories for me?
I do. Actually, the other day I was driving home and I'm going up this little hill towards my house, and there's a street light right on the top of the hill.
A giant outdoor lamp.
A giant outdoor lamp. And on top of it, as I'm coming, like as I'm approaching, there's a cross street right before the giant outside lamp.
Outdoor lamp.
Yeah. So, and I see a bird, just on top.
Wait, is it daytime or nighttime?
It was like around 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So it was
dusk.
Dusk. And I see this bird and I was like, oh my God, it looked just like a crow. Just like a crow. Like I can see it dark. And as I'm approaching it, when I go just about to pass it, it takes flight. And it was a hawk.
Whoa, weird.
I know.
Dark?
No, it was a hawk. I saw it brown, like red tail hawk. And I was like,
Shapeshifter.
Yes. It looked just like a crow. Like where I could see it, I was like, oh, that's a crow. Like I could swear that I saw like the beak.
What?
And it looked just like a crow. But once I got through, it's like,
You're like, what? No.
yeah.
Interesting.
You know what? Shapeshifter. I
Yeah.
didn't think about, I was just so like, no. I talked myself all the way to my house to be like, no, wait, no, was it?
Do I need glasses? Like,
I know, but it wasn't dark enough where it would have been
Like a silhouette.
There was no
or whatever,
way. Yeah. There was no, like it was clear enough where you could see it. And black is pretty hard color to mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that is super strange.
I wonder what it means.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really funny that you bring that up too, like, or the shapeshifter thing, because I heard a recent story about that. Like, because I was going into like the Appalachian or the Appalachian.
Oh, the
however you say
Appalachian,
that. Yeah, like that area. There's so much there, like
Yes.
so much stuff there. But I was reading this one story that was like about shapeshifters and how this girl like moved into this town, like, rural town in the Appalachian Mountains, and like all of her neighbors were just telling her like, hey, like around like, dusk or whatever, like if somebody comes knocking on your door, don't answer it.
Oh,
Like this huge lore around the town. And the girl's like, what do you mean? And they're like, just don't, like nothing good happens after dark, like kind of thing. And that was, then she started doing research. She's like, yeah, the lore around her town was that there's shapeshifters out there that are trying to like lure you outside, and they'll change shape from like coyotes to humans to all different kinds of whatever to try to get you to come outside. And then there's like another part of the story where she's like at a gas station and somebody asked like, hey, have you ever heard your name being called outside by like nobody? And she's like, no. Like what? She goes, yeah, my so-and-so I knew used to live in the house you were living in, and they'd always hear their name being called like outside by nothing. How creepy is that?
If you're moving to a rural area, please do some research prior to moving.
Yeah, for real.
That is crazy.
I know. We should do a whole episode just on like tales from the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes. But that is crazy. Yeah, I know. Shapeshifters, you know what?
There's so much lore, like in so many different cultures, like Native American cultures, like the skinwalker thing, like so much. It's super creepy.
I know. No,
I love the creepy stuff. But anyways, that's not what we're doing today. So I'm Shelby.
I'm Dee.
And we are Witches Who Podcast.
Hello.
And definitely know what I can't remember what it's called. Oh, streetlights. I was gonna say we definitely know what streetlights are called. And all I could think is light pole. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
anyways.
God. Outdoor lamps.
Big,
gigantic outdoor lamps.
That's what they're called now.
Oh my gosh.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about what on earth is grounding. We hear that so often, right?
All
it's just
the time.
like, you need to ground yourself. It sounds like you need to ground more.
Yeah.
But it's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
So we're going to
Good question.
try our best to share with you, because probably just like you, we've been frustrated too.
And still are.
Yeah. What is grounding? So I ask the big and mighty web, what,
All-powerful.
the all-powerful web, what grounding is. And it spit out, grounding is the practice of connecting your energy to the earth and your body, to the present moment. So connecting ourselves to the present moment, the energy of to the earth. It helps bring balance, stability, and a sense of calm by releasing excess energy, stress, or overwhelm. Grounding can be done through mindfulness, meditation, movement, breath work, or visualization. Anything that brings your awareness back to your body and the here and now. That reminds me of like that practice for when you're feeling anxious. So a lot, if you're feeling anxiety, is like, one thing you can see or 5 things you can see.
Oh yeah, I love
and
that.
You smell until you like the taste, right? Hear, feel, see.
Yeah.
And that's kind of bringing you back into your body and that present moment. But yeah,
that is interesting. Yeah.
So I asked actually my husband, I was like, hey, we're doing our podcast on grounding, and I kind of wanted, his opinion, what his thoughts are. My husband it's more into the woo now, and it's which I love.
I love that.
I didn't force him, just for everybody out there who may have a partner who's not into the woo and you're all into the
You
woo.
gradually coerced
just
him.
kind of like put a spell on him, and kind of happened. But I asked him, was like, hey, we're recording on grounding today. What if I ask you, I was like, what we say? And this was his answer, which he's not into ChatGPT at all. He's just a ChatGPT walking around.
And he texted you
He
this?
texted me. So he texted me because I was like, he told me, and I was like, that sounds fantastic. I'm not going to remember it. I'm going to butcher it if I try to remember it. And based on, I shared this with you earlier, Shelby, just without reading it to you because he hadn't texted it yet.
Yeah,
and,
so I haven't heard this yet.
Yeah, and so it's going to sound nothing
what you said.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
So regarding grounding, it allows us.
You said that?
Yeah, literally it begins with regarding grounding.
My goodness.
It allows us to connect with the Earth's energy and healing frequencies by allowing us to gather free electrons from the Earth's surface. We're negatively charged beings, and the Earth supplies us with an infinite amount of negative electrons to keep us in balance, reducing inflammation, balancing cortisol, supporting our immune system and nervous system, while promoting heart health. I know.
What?
This is what
And
grounding.
he didn't pull that off the internet?
No.
What?
Pull it out of himself.
Wow, I'm very impressed.
I know. He's good with words. Me, not so much. And that's so now it's like, okay, a lot of
That really paints a picture,
It does. And then before we dive in a little bit more, so we all heard grounding, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like we also hear the word earthing.
Yeah, and I don't really understand what the difference is.
Yeah. So I didn't until now. I had a little bit of an idea.
There's that documentary that talks all about earthing, where like you walk bare feet outside.
So that was my biggest thing. I was like, okay, you literally put the physical into the earth and you just kind of like, pull from there, have this exchange, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah,
the
yeah.
earth versus grounding. Sometimes you can ground without connecting to the earth
Okay.
physically. That was kind of
Yes.
like my
Okay.
understanding. But again, asking the big mighty web, the difference between grounding and earthing. While grounding is a broader concept that includes mental, emotional, and energetic practices to stay present and center, earthing specifically refers to the physically connecting with the earth's surface. Walking barefoot on grass, sand, or soil, swimming in natural water, or touching trees are all form of earthing. Earthing allows your body to absorb the earth's natural energy, which can help reduce inflammation. Oh, what Mike said. Earth inflammation, improve sleep, and support overall well-being. So, in short, grounding is an energetic and mindfulness based practice, while earthing is a physical act of connecting with nature's healing energy. Both are powerful ways to restore balance.
Got it. So you're kind of right.
Yeah. So,
Essentially,
yeah. So, it's just,
it sounds like grounding is more like on the emotional level a little
Yeah.
bit, whereas like earthing is like the physicality of like literally taking on like the earth's like energy.
yeah, absolutely. But, what else were we talking about? Sorry, I got,
We lost our train of thought.
got stuck on that.
Well, yeah. So like, what does it feel like to be on? Because you can be ungrounded, but you can't really be unearthed. You know what I mean? Like, what does that
It
mean?
sounds like you're unearthed. It's like I'm drawn down by gravity connected to this earth. But at the same time, no. So yeah, I don't know what it would be to be unearthed.
Like, I don't. Is that even a
it's
thing?
I don't know. But definitely ungrounded.
I feel like it kind of goes together. Like, like you become ungrounded because you are not connected to the earth.
Yeah.
Right? You're not grounded because you're not connected to the earth's energy. I think it's like both. Like,
No.
so you feel the ungroundedness, and that should like trigger your, okay, I need to go earth, or maybe that kind of supports the grounding in a way.
A lot of people, so we know nature is healing.
Yeah, totally.
And nature is grounding. It brings us back to that present moment. Like I tell my clients, when you're feeling anxious, just find 5 shades of green.
Yeah, that's
You know?
that's funny.
Yeah.
It's always green.
Yeah, green. I don't know. It's so funny. So just to connect and I tell them go outside and just find 5 shades of green. But most of the time I feel like the grounding goes hand in hand, of course, with the earthing, but we're talking probably a little bit more on how when we're feeling anxious, that means that we're ungrounded.
Totally.
Anxious. And I think that's like the biggest one. If we're not feeling like ourselves and we're feeling the disconnect from our inner being, if we're just feeling extra anxious,
flighty.
Yes.
Like not focused.
Yes.
Like brain fog. And even like,
extra
irritable.
cranky, irritable.
Totally. And even like physical symptoms too. Like nausea can totally be like, you feel ungrounded, you're in a hurry all the time, you're trying to hurry. That causes anxiety. That can cause nausea. That can cause vertigo. That can cause all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah. And you just reminded me, we were talking about this. I don't think we talk about it in an episode, but you mentioned something how somebody when's always yawning. It's a form of releasing anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And so that's also, I feel like if you're constantly yawning, your nervous system is working differently.
Yeah, it's
and
a signal. It's like, hey, wake up.
Yeah. So you need to ground, bring it down, slow it down. Like a lot of the times. And I think that's where it becomes kind of irritating at times. That we're like, people want to give you advice. Just, we're here hopefully not receiving unsolicited advice, or just take what works for you.
You don't have to listen. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. But if, a lot of people, I've heard this in my own life. I don't know if you have, but I'll have a conversation. It's like, well, it sounds like you're, you need to slow it down.
Yeah.
And it sounds like,
what does that even
X, Y,
mean?
I know.
Oh my gosh. Yes. My whole entire life, that is my message from every, like my professional career, just from teachers, from mentors. It's always been, you need to slow down. You need to ground, slow down and ground. It's like, okay, maybe if you told me what the heck that even means, then maybe, because in my head, I'm like, no, like I know where I want to go. I have goals. I know how to get there, but it's always slow down, bring people with you, slow down, bring people with you. And it's like, no.
I don't have room for
I
them.
don't understand why. One, two, like I'm doing just fine. But then the second, I think it clicked for me when I stepped away from my corporate job and I like kind of actually like I was forced to slow down. It was a huge detox for me coming off of that like constant go, 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 that sympathetic, like my nervous system was shot, right? Like constant survival mode. I didn't even know. It was just a way of life, you know? You just get so comfortable being in like anxiety all the time. You just don't even realize that it's different, that it's not, you know, and there's a better way to live.
And it is an ungrounded state to just keep going, because I had similar situation where I wore this badge of honor of like so busy and people would be like, oh my gosh, Steve, you have kids and you're doing all this stuff and I don't even know how you do it. And I'm all like, oh, I can do it all. Yeah. And I was actually very ungrounded and just finding more ways to keep me busy to not like pay attention to what I needed to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So interesting. All these aha moments.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Still, even to this day, like I'll catch myself being like, okay, why do I feel this way? Why am I so like, why can't I focus? Like, why do I feel like I can't get anything done? Yeah. And it's because I'm like 14 steps ahead and I skipped all these other steps and not understanding why everything else is falling apart. Like, well, hello, slow down and ground.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like something that is very easy, but because we are so consumed for everything outside ourselves, we just don't do it.
Totally.
Don't take the time to do it at all. But yeah, no, I get that.
It's like we don't find value in it until you do it,
yes.
right? And when you realize that you literally cannot function, I think that's what it takes for a lot of people. At least that was my experience. Was I had to get to a breaking point, like rock bottom, to figure out like, hey, there has to be a better way. There has to be a sustainable way to continue to work, like, or just to be a human.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely. And that happens to so many and at different levels.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be the breaking point, rock bottom, but a lot of people are able to catch themselves. I'm heading in that direction. What can I do now to not spiral to a place of, you know, just adrenal being shot? Totally. Just this extreme exhaustion. And exhaustion, that's another one of like, I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. It's like, need to ground and tend to what the body is calling, because we know that it can, like you said, it can be manifested in a physical form. Yeah,
so, totally. Yeah, when you're operating in the sympathetic nervous system forever, like that's not only are you have such crazy high cortisol levels, like what do you think that does to your system? It's destructive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, okay. So I think we kind of figure what ungrounded feels like.
Yeah. Now, what do we freaking do about it?
I know. What do we do? So I've heard root vegetables are important to ground. So definitely, I know there's like different teas that you can do, but everything is just kind of being very mindful. Right. So we can, through food, like root vegetables, of course, help us. And again, it's that piece, that earth piece kind of coming into our system. But just being very mindful, even like how to just being present with your food, or if you're going to take a shower, it's just like smell the soap, or you're washing dishes. Yeah. You know, so often we're washing dishes and we're thinking, okay, I have to do the laundry. I have to go do this. And it's like, okay, you're not centered. You're letting like that. Maybe you're not even thinking it's anxiety, but the anxiety is creeping in, and anxiety goes hand in hand with feeling ungrounded. And then it's like, okay, but I'm feeling the warm water. I'm smelling the soap. I'm, being very not mindful of what you're doing. That begins to ground you. And were you outside? No, but it brings you back into that present moment. And that's more of like the grounding. Of course, like meditation, being outside for me, I love to, and it's probably a combination because I love to go and hug a tree. I have a specific tree that I like to go to, and I just hug the tree, and it's just part of my routine. And just kind of checking in. And it's like, hey, I ask the tree permission to take any negative energy that I may be feeling, or any anxiety or ungroundedness that I'm feeling, to please take it and transmute that energy, and then just reconnect me with the earth. and just
love
that boom, just kind of, and I feel it, and I
Yeah.
feel it through the soul. I'm barefooted. I
Yeah,
love to
I like
be,
being barefoot.
yes, be barefoot outside. Even right now, when we're recording this, it's raining right now outside.
I love the
So I know, and I was like, it's even like that. It's okay. What is, you're gonna get a little cold.
Yeah.
But it's just still connecting to our
Totally.
earth.
Yeah.
But there's many on my side practices that one can use to ground, and there's one that is, this is more of a like a personal story. At one time I was feeling, I can't even remember, but I was feeling a lot of anxiety, and I kept it to myself, and that's not always good.
Yeah.
Because we were about to go to show up at a party, and I had to go get some stuff that we were going to take. And I was feeling extremely, like my anxiety just built up. Everything that I was trying to do had not had work. And I'm literally driving to the store, and I'm about to burst into tears. Like
How inconvenient is anxiety
know.
though? I just wanted to call that out.
Yes.
Anyways.
And I at that moment I was like, I need to breathe. You know, because a lot of times we just hold our
Yeah.
breath and don't do. And I was like, I need to ground. I have no time to try and go and meditate and sit. I have
Yeah.
to
Who
literally
has time?
Yeah, I right now I have no time. I'm literally, well, it's good to make time
Yes.
for that. Prioritize yourself, people. But I was on a mission to get this
In the moment, what do you do?
Yes, and I'm driving, and I was like, okay, so I did Nadi Shona, which is a practice of alternate nostril
Nostril,
breathing. And as I'm driving, so I'm driving, and I was just like, inhale through the left, plug my right nostril, and then unplug and exhale through the right. And so it was about 10 minutes from my house to the store. And by the time I got to the store, I was much more relaxed. By the time I got home, I was much more relaxed. And it just kind of like worked. It helped me.
Yeah.
And then I talked to my husband before taking off, and it was great. That was the other thing. I needed to share what I was feeling with somebody else, because sometimes somebody else can be an aid in helping you ground yourself and bring you back.
Yeah.
So that you're almost like that reassurance, even though ultimately we have to do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody can really do it for us.
I mean, they can support. It's like that. It's like a current, right? Like your husband, if he's super grounded, him touching you, it transfers that energy.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yes. And I've told him that before. I'm like, you're so soothing. Sometimes we'll be like laying, watching a movie or something. And I was just like, I just relax, like melt. And
Totally. And I just feel like it's like that grounding energy is super natural for some people. Like my husband's the same way. He's super grounded all the time and doesn't even like know it. Like he has no idea, no clue. But when he's not, oh my God, it's like so disruptive to my nervous system. I'm like, oh my God, like I hate it. Like it freaks me out. I'm like, wait a minute. Like if you're not grounded, then something must be really wrong. You know, it's like my brain is like my nervous system is like so connected that I'm like, wait a minute. If he's like, there's something really wrong if he's feeling ungrounded like this. But it's super interesting to think about that, how we really are like the people that you surround yourself with really do matter and can really upset and really unground you. It's like, you know, the holidays, for example, you see all of your family when you don't normally and all this stuff. Like how ungrounded do you feel after having all these conversations you don't want to have, or trying to avoid all these conversations, or whatever it is, right? Or just being around people that, you know, maybe aren't aligned with the way you live your life and they want to tell you about it, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so then you come home, like it's like the Christmas hangover is what I think about. I just feel so exhausted and just like irritated and all this stuff. Then I realize I'm super ungrounded because I let these people's energy totally drain me and totally unground me. It's super interesting, you know. But yeah,
that's where the cleansing comes in, and also important to ground yourself before you go. Like, okay, I know I'm gonna go to this bar, or I'm gonna be we're gonna be peopling
where
a
there's
lot.
a ton of people. Yeah, totally.
And just like, okay, I'm gonna be in like my energy bubble. I'm gonna connect with the earth. I'm gonna be in the present moment. I'm gonna enjoy. I'm not gonna speculate of like how that's gonna go, how the other shoe's gonna fall, what I need to prepare for. It's like, I'm just gonna be grounded and show up.
I'm just gonna be here. Yeah, and also think about too, like how many times have you like noticed a person that is super grounded and in their power? Like that is a very noticeable energy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that, like, you always talk about, oh, that girl turns heads. That girl's grounded as shit. That girl is confident and sure of herself. That is what she's turning your head.
Yeah, yeah.
It's her energy that
Yeah.
is attracting you.
Yeah,
And that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're more energy than we are matter, and that matters.
Yeah.
So, mom
Totally.
joke. But yeah, it is that person. It's like in their power, in their energy, and
And she did the work to get there.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, I mean, actually, I would have probably argued that. You're probably born pretty ungrounded. Right?
probably
I don't know. I feel like that.
Especially if you're a 3 on a human design, the martyr, you're gonna learn through the lessons. Yeah. I just learned that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about it.
Ooh, 333.
Oh, interesting. We just saw 222. Like,
Yeah.
what time? Where are we?
are
What is time? But yeah, that is interesting. As a baby, like you come into this world from the spirit realm, like it's like we're constantly seeking to be grounded, right? Like from the second we're born. But then also, like, babies are super present, right? They don't have anything else. All they're worried about is, you know, how they're feeling.
Having all their needs met.
Yeah.
They don't care about, that you didn't sleep. They don't care that,
They don't even know.
yeah, that you haven't showered in 3 days.
Yeah.
They're just like, feed me or I will cry
Yeah.
my eyes out until you feed me.
Yeah.
So, or change me or burp me or any
Whatever
of that.
it
They
is.
don't worry about anything else.
Yeah. It's almost like a luxury that we don't have anymore. Like we give that up over time, but like, why do we do that?
Well, because now we have to kind of comply to somebody else's feelings or somebody else's agenda. I'm going to use, to please the parents.
Yes.
Like
the baby's on their own timeline. We are operating on multiple timelines, I would argue, at the same time. Like, and I don't mean that, I mean that in like an energetic sense, but I mean that in like a very physical way. Like we're on our own timeline, but we're also on our husband's timelines and our work's timelines and, all these other timelines, the baby's timelines, right? Like all these other timelines that we're not making ours a priority.
Absolutely.
That's where the groundedness happens, is when you're on your own timeline.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And we need to stay in that lane in order to better serve
Yes,
those
the other ones.
times. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Totally. But how do you do that? And it's also like, how do you course correct once you get so far off of the timeline, off the path? Like you have to pivot.
Yep.
At some point you're going to have to pivot and come back. And there's like little things along the way. Like I'm not saying like, in a perfect world, we're grounded all the time, right? Like that's unrealistic. Like we're sentient beings living in a human body. Like, yes, like our bodies want to be grounded, but our energetic bodies, for some of us, don't.
Yeah.
So like, that's a very hard push and pull. And like, that's something that I feel like I struggle with a lot, and why I feel like for some it's easy to ground because they're very earthly. And for others, it's hard.
More cosmic, more outside.
Yeah.
I would say for anyone out there that is also feeling that way, to be very patient with themselves. Just patience.
And drink a lot of water.
Yes. A lot of water. But very patient, not beat yourself up in that process.
Yeah.
Because
And that's hard to do. So love yourself a little bit.
Yeah. And it course correct I think, how, when you're so, like you mentioned, you're so far out, how to course correct and come back. It's just the awareness of like, I am so far out from grounded. I'm so just being like, I am so ungrounded right now.
It starts with awareness.
First. Yes.
Totally.
That's like the first step. And then it's like, okay, now what can I do? What is, you may be in a place where like, I can't do any of that. Go splash some water in your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like shock yourself.
That
for a
reminds
second.
me, like, it's something that I learned like through, like in hypnotherapy. One of the biggest things is acknowledgement heals. So sometimes like when you're going through like regression therapy, you're addressing these things that you, like either memories you suppressed or past life stuff, and you're addressing them and you're seeing these as like the bigger picture, essentially like bird's eye view, like this is what happened. And sometimes without feeling the emotion, like you can choose to feel the emotion if you want, that's the whole thing. But sometimes by just acknowledging and having the awareness of the situation is all you needed. Like sometimes it doesn't have to be more than that.
You don't have to feel it and relive it all over again.
You don't have to do it. Going off the course, like, okay, hey, oh, whoa, I'm ungrounded. I'm off the course. There you go. You've already steered back. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Like, I think we overcomplicate things so much because I don't even know why, you know, we want it to sound flowery. We want, you know,
Humans love working against themselves.
yeah, that's,
You know,
yeah.
it's almost like that's what gives life a purpose. No, it's not.
Yeah. Like, why does it have to be hard? Why can't it just be simple?
It can.
You know?
We just don't let it because we're stuck in our ways.
Yeah. And like with this whole spiritual path too, it's like, I feel like there's just so much stuff. Like I guarantee if we go outside right now and go up to like anybody in the neighborhood and be like, hey, what does being grounded mean to you? We're going to get drastically different answers. You know what I mean? Like, which is great because, you know, that's who they are or whatever, but it's so interesting. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something that works. But when it comes to it, it's like, you have to figure that out like for yourself. Like we were saying earlier, like root vegetables, like that is, I think, very, common. Totally works. I'm a big food person, love food. But when you really think about being grounded, I really think about, like the chakras. Like your root chakra, like being ungrounded, you're not secure. So like the root chakra is really responsible for, you know, your security, right? That's where your groundedness. I mean, it can be all of them, obviously, but that's the one that I feel like is really out of whack when you're ungrounded. Is
Because the root chakra is also your core belief system.
Yes.
But so there's one chakra that is 12 inches below the feet and between the feet, and it's called the Earth Star chakra. That's why it's so important to like be barefooted and connected and things like that. But the root chakra in our bodies, that one comes to the core beliefs. How do we bring up? So if we were brought up in a household that did not feel supported, right? Our parents were in and out, or they were not, you know, leaving you for maybe later, you weren't being seen. That's gonna make that person feel ungrounded.
Totally.
And all comes down to the safety.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And yeah, that example from your parents or just, you know, the people around you growing up totally makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so fascinating too, because I think I got kind of both ends of that growing up. Like my mom could be very grounded, but also could not be very grounded. She has, you know, high functioning anxiety. So it was super interesting for me to watch that happen in my mom because she really did do the practices to get grounded over and over. Like we were outside all the time, like all those things. But as a child, I was just like, oh, mom's upset right now, so we're going to go outside. Like,
Like let her go spiral and we're going to go do something else.
So interesting.
Oh, but you know, but let's go outside. You naturally were.
Yeah. No, we would go outside together.
Oh,
yeah. Like in my head, I was like, oh, mom's having a bad day. We're going to spend a lot of time outside. We would do all kinds of activities outside together. Like,
I thought you were like, you'll leave her inside. And
no. She was like doing the work and bringing me with her.
Oh, wow.
Which was really cool to see, you know, as a kid. Like that was where I think I've told the story before where we would do the fairy garden thing and we would do all those things together. But it wasn't, I mean, my mom was she very much shielded both me and my sister from her like anxiety because I think she still struggled with it a little. I mean, we all have anxiety. Like I would argue with anybody if they tell me they don't have anxiety. Let's talk about it. But yeah, I think she did in my opinion, I think she did a really good job of showing us that it's okay to have those feelings, because now like I immediately recognized it in myself. I was like, I immediately knew what it was because I saw my mom going through it, you know, which was
that's great.
A huge tool for me. Like I didn't have to go through what she went through of like, what is this? Doctor's telling her she's nuts and putting her on crazy pills. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have to go through all those things.
Absolutely.
And that was a terrible thing to say. The crazy pill thing, that was not intended to be. I just meant like,
yes, of
you
course,
know, going through like the whole process of medications, which I do believe in medication. I just want to say that too. I think that there's two different avenues to go there.
Yes.
There's using it as a crutch or not. Yeah. Using it as a crutch or using it as a tool.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Anyway, so back to my other stories, but I want to make that distinction.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that being ungrounded, like learning how to ground from an early age, I think really helped me a lot. But also it's almost like by the time I graduated like high school and like started in my career and going through college, it's like I forgot all of it. And then people were like, oh, and I also didn't know what it was too. So it was like, oh, you need to slow down, you need to ground. What is that? Okay, like stop telling me that. Give me something to do, like physically.
Go to this class or do this or go outside.
Like whatever. And then I would just be like, oh, that's a waste of my time. I need to go study, or you know what I mean? But I feel like there's so many things that we can do that are so personal, and focusing a little bit more on your personal system, right? Like I can tell you all day long what to do, and it doesn't do anything, you know? So it's starting with getting, you know, it always comes back to getting to know yourself. And I really think grounding, like with the root chakra, is such a good place to start. And even if it's just walking outside, like you were saying earlier, doing like pick 5 green things or whatever it is. I feel like grounding is such a good way to start your spiritual practice, because you also like, you can't advance, you cannot move forward unless you are grounded. In anything, in any aspect, with your spiritual practice, with energetically, with physically, right? You can't, you know, if your purpose in life is to just give to everybody all the time, wonderful. I truly believe most of us, that is our purpose, is to serve others. But you can't do that if you're ungrounded, because you're depleted, right? So yeah, I think you're really just finding what works for you, which is, you know, depending on your human design sign, could be trial and error, could be, you know, reading a book, could be doing ridiculous research on the internet for hours and hours and hours, and then deciding that it's all a bunch of crap, and you're just going to go ask your friend who's the martyr, who's already done all the work.
Everything just comes back to the present moment, to being in the body, feeling the body, and being in the present moment, and not being outside the body, which is in that almost living in that anxiety, you know, that fear of the future. We know anxiety is the fear of the future. Depression is the fear of the past, you know? So I think that's why grounding kind of, when we're ungrounded, it goes hand in hand with like anxiety, that we're outside ourselves. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think about that visual of like your just regular body, and you just kind of see your energetic body outside. I always think about that. I'm like, oh, I need to pull her back in. Like I always am like, oh, she's floating. We're in the clouds. My husband will say that to me all the time. He goes, "You're in the clouds." I'm like, "You're right. I need to like
bring her down.
Need to bring her back down here. Like, come down."
But yeah, I know. And I get it, because sometimes I'm like, oh man, I need to be in my human. You know, it's like sometimes even when I feel like, oh, I have to eat, that is so inconvenient right now, or I have to pee, I need to use the restroom. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I'm so, you know, and I'm like, no, your vessel needs this. Be in your human.
Totally. Oh my gosh. I do that all the time. I'm like, you know, knee deep in like research on my computer. And I'm like, I don't have time to pee. I don't have time to make dinner. Like I have to, I am so into what I'm doing, which I could argue I'm in the present moment because I'm really into what I'm doing, just ignoring all of the other
ding, 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 ignoring. It's like, that's it's so my funny choice. Yes. But the body's literally screaming. Your bladder is about to burst. You know, your intestines are eating each other. It's like, it's like, okay, I am focused. Well, or I'm focused. Totally. So I might throw in a tantrum that I want this. I want what I want.
Yeah. And then the physical symptoms come. It's just like we're talking about, you know, the physical manifestations. Totally. Okay, now you're going to get a UTI. Now you're going to be nauseous, or your stomach's going to shrink. So every time you eat food, you're going to feel nauseous. Like, it's causing more damage than good. Like, right? But
just bringing that awareness, like, okay, I don't want to stop, but okay.
Yeah,
I got it. I'm going to go nourish myself. So when I come back, I'm still going to be even more focused.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. You're going to be more focused if you take care of what you need to take care of, right? Because there's that little nagging, oh, I still have to pee. I still have to pee. I still have to pee, or whatever, you know?
And now you're trying to rush through the research you're doing or the work
so you're doing. Half-ass work.
Yep. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah. Have you ever done that? Okay. I used to do this in college all the time, where I would write this ridiculously long paper, just like I have to power through because I just need to get it done. And then I like go eat and I go pee and I come back and read it. And I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever written.
Oh yeah. I have to redo it.
I cannot turn this in.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, do you really need it to power through? It's like,
exactly. Then I have to do it all over again, which takes me double the amount of time when I could have just, you know, done it right the first time.
Oh gosh. Wow. See, ground people.
Yeah.
Ground.
So what do you do? So we were talking earlier when you were in the car and you did Nadi Shodhana, the breathing exercise. Let's talk a little bit more about those kind of tools. Cause I think like I said it earlier, who has time to meditate? You know, like not making yourself a priority yes, we all have time. Whenever I would hear anybody say like, oh, I don't have time for that, it's like, no, you're not making that a priority. Absolutely. But I think there are also tools that you can do, maybe not, but, and there are also tools that you can do that are in the moment that can sustain you, I think. Like, I think everybody needs a little, like, it maybe depends on your timeline, right? Like, once a week, I have to at least once a week sit down and really breathe and meditate and ground. If I don't do that, I am a basket case.
Yeah.
Sometimes daily, you know, but like, what are those little things that you can do in the moment, you know, every single day, what, like, that are quick, that help you stay present, help you stay grounded, that, you know.
Yeah. I think taking a breath, a conscious breath, like
a conscious breath.
Yeah. Just like I'm just deep breath in and open mouth exhale, like, and like letting the sound leave the body. And it's just kind of, if you do 3 of those, just, but even, you know, anytime I feel anxious, or sometimes I'll be talking to somebody and I feel it and I was like, am I breathing? Just check in. Am I breathing? Asking yourself, am I breathing? And then just like, taking a breath, and it's like, oh, okay.
And where is your breath going? Like, are you inhaling like short into the chest, or can you just take a big breath and expand the belly?
Yeah. So those are the best. The belly breaths it helps regulate the nervous system, and reminds us that we're safe. So belly breaths are better if you're breathing into the chest, collarbone, just tight, short out here. They're going to help, but they're not going to help as much as if you really fill up your lungs.
Exactly.
Expand the diaphragm and really kind of like, let it go, you know? And you can do that with, like, I'm going to take a breath in and deep inhale and shrug the shoulders all the way up to the ears and hold them really tight. Let the anxiety come into the shoulders, and then relax the shoulders, relax the breath, and soften the belly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think that's like the one of the main tools I would say is just connect to your breath.
Yeah. I like to do this thing where I'll touch my fingers to my thumb pad, like over and over, and I'll go back and forth constantly. If you're on the video, you can see, like, literally just, that's all I do. And I'll just do it on one hand, because usually I'm in the car. or you can do both at the same time, depending on what you're doing. But like, and then you can start doing like 2 at a time, or you can like get a melody going or something. That's what I would do.
Cool. I'll try that. I don't think I've ever tried that.
Well, like, sometimes like, I would do it because I would be like in meetings and I can't take a big breath or whatever. I just have to, like, you know, keep a smile on my face. So that I would start doing that with my fingers. My grandma actually taught me that, which is interesting.
That is pretty cool. That I would definitely try.
I'd also, one thing that really helps me, and I posted this on my Instagram story actually today, is screaming.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes, like, okay, so there's something to be said about the vagus nerve, right? The vagus nerve connects everything down your spinal cord. It connects to your organ. It literally connects. It's the main nerve that runs down your spine. And toning your vagus nerve is super grounding. And you can do this singing, oming, connecting to 432 hertz. Like that is which is also super funny. And humming is another breath work, Barami breath, lots of different stuff like that. But that screaming has always been very cathartic for me, and a huge release. And it really brings you right into your body, because you're just exerting everything. And I don't mean like screaming like, woo, no, I mean like
from
belly,
the throat,
like
belly,
guttural, primal, let it out.
I
like,
love that.
all of it. And I would do that in the car. I mean, whatever. The car's pretty sealed, like, you know.
And you're driving. Maybe you're down the freeway or something. You're passing people. People are on their phones.
They don't
so
know.
You don't know.
They got music going.
Who cares? They're not going to follow you. If they follow you, call the cops.
Yeah, right. I also used to do it like into my pillow.
I heard the pillow.
I loved doing that. I used to do that all the time. But it's all of it. You feel the body tingles, and it's fast. Like, you literally just go walk into a broom closet and scream as loud as you can, walk out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a immediate, like, it just immediately brings you right there, you know?
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Do you just like, you're not listening to anything and you scream, or do you have music and you scream?
No, it's usually just,
Oh,
yep, just me. Why do you scream to music?
well, I have like a song that eggs me on to do it.
Nice.
So,
What is it?
had like a hole from Nine Inch Nails.
Nice. Yes, that would do it.
Yeah. But I used to do that. I haven't actually screamed like that in a while.
Crying too.
But yeah, crying. I think screaming comes a little bit easier. Yeah, if I can cry more than likely, more than likely, I'm having like a panic attack. I'm having like a nervous breakdown, and I'm like out, and that's when I let it all out, and definitely reroutes me and grounds me. But a good scream, I like that.
Yeah,
you know,
a good scream. Sometimes you need a good cry.
Yeah,
like, I have a crying playlist on my phone.
Oh,
because sometimes I'm just like, God, I need to just like purge some emotion right now. And like, because sometimes like if you're holding on to emotions and you're not letting yourself feel them, that is super ungrounding too. You have to process the emotion through your body.
Yes.
And so I have a crying playlist that I'll literally put on and I'll just bawl.
Yeah.
Because it, you know, the grieving process. Everybody is grieving something. Like, and grieving doesn't have to mean death either. Like, I think that's a huge common misconception. But like, grieving is ungrounding.
It's just associated with death, and it can be the death of different things, you know, of a job, of a relationship, or something, or just a transition.
Yeah,
we're leaving
just a
something
change.
behind.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So sometimes I think just processing the emotions and however that looks for you, can be extremely grounding. You know, and I love what you were saying earlier about like kind of giving that energy to the earth too. Like you can give the earth that energy to transmute, right?
Yes.
Like the earth is so energetically powerful. Like we don't use it in the way that it's intended to be used either. So it wants to be used. Connect to the earth. I do this meditation all the time where a grounding meditation where you're seated. We'll probably post this on our Patreon. So sign up for Patreon. You can do this meditation with me. You either are seated or you're laying down. And this is kind of the basic to get into shamanic trance is you have to ground yourself before you can go do anything else. You just have to. Astral travel, same thing. Yep. So the grounding meditation is wherever you are, whatever is touching the floor, you start to imagine roots growing there. And if you're seated, then they're growing out of your sit bones and they're breaking down. Whatever you're seated, like we're upstairs right now. So I would literally visualize it breaking down through the floor, growing through the walls of the downstairs, and then breaking down into the foundation of my house, into the dirt, and then keep pushing that down through every layer of earth until you get all the way into the earth's core. And then you feel these roots plug into this glowing ball of the earth's core, and then you drink that energy up. So you're pulling this energy up through the roots of your body into your being, and you keep doing this cycle until you feel that earth energy fill you all the way up and hold you tight. So you're grounded and your physical body is here on this plane, and that's all you have to do.
Ooh, that gave me all the nice chills,
right?
Gave me, like,
and then that's like the basis of like being able to energetically to support your energetic travel or whatever you want to do. But
oh my gosh, I'm excited.
It's a good one. Sign up for Patreon and you can do this fun meditation with me.
Yes.
But it's
check out on Patreon. I know. I'm very excited for our Patreon because it's going to have a lot of really awesome
It already
things.
has. I mean, we're saying it's going to
gosh.
because this episode.
I know.
We haven't launched. We're recording this podcast in February before we've actually launched any of the episodes, and I think
you're listening
this episode,
to it in May.
Yeah, it's like comes out in May.
Hi, happy Mother's Day. Sorry, but we have by now we have so much in our Patreon, so go check it out. Check out our monthly workshops. Oh
Yeah, so much stuff. Oh my gosh, so many grounding practice too. Like I'm there's gonna be so much stuff on there, because we have to ground everything. See, yawning. Here I'm grounded. I need to go drink some water.
I know. You need to do other things.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Yes.
I think I need a nap.
There we go. See, again, rest.
Yes.
But yeah.
And something that I would say is like, if you are ever ungrounded and you have tried all these things and you're still not working, I would say shut the system down. And that is go take a nap.
Yeah.
Like just clock out, you're done,
Yeah.
shut the system down. And I found that in the past definitely has worked.
It's like a reboot.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, what's the first thing IT tells you to do? Did you unplug it, plug it back in?
Yeah.
Did you try to restart it? Like, there you go. Do
Exactly, just like that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, one thing too, that is crazy grounding if you don't have a fear or anything like that is our animals. So grounding. Like pet a dog or horses. Oh, so
Well, those are these
connected.
therapies with, we have a therapy dog, right? Or like a therapy pet, I should say. There's
Yeah.
always these service animals and
Totally. Yes. So many animals. And even just being outside and like connecting to the animal. You don't have to physically touch it. You can just be near.
connect to the hawk.
Yeah.
To the crow that I thought it was the hawk.
Yeah.
That I thought it was a crow.
shapeshifter. You know,
Shapeshifter.
you never know.
Maybe not to that one.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe a different one.
Yeah. But, moral of the story is there's so much out there. There's always going to be somebody telling you what to do. And I think for us, it's really, we just want to create a little bit of insight and create a little bit of curiosity for you to dig a little bit deeper and kind of get to know yourself a little bit better of what works for you.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that's what we did.
Hopefully. Take what you like. Take what resonates from this. And what doesn't, that's okay. And just find ways to ground yourself, however that looks for you. So I love this. I love this grounding episode.
Yeah.
I think it was so needed. So I choose a nap.
Yeah. I'm going to go rub amethyst all over me.
Yeah, crystals, grounding crystals, all the things. But yeah, I think it was awesome. Anything else?
I don't know. I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
You guys feeling good? Feels good. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, as always, please send us your stories. This was a
Yes.
more tame episode. We wanted to kind of give you a little bit more personal insight into us, but I know the last few episodes have been a little intense, but it's really fun. So we want your stories. Send us your grounding practices. What works for you? Email us your creepy, weird, spooky, amazingly whimsical stories. Because every 10 episodes we plan to do listener stories. So please send us your listener stories to witcheswhopodcast@gmail.com, and you might be featured on one of these fun episodes.
We would love that. We always love to hear from our listeners. It's like the best thing.
It's the best. It is so fun because you guys have such amazing insights. Like,
Yes.
things that we've never even thought about before. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. And until next time. So tune in, stay curious, and till the next episode. Besitos. Bye.
Peace.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to follow us on social media at Witches Who Podcast.